Hello folks, welcome to the channel Jose. Today we're going to show you on how we did the popcorn removal on a hallway with a spray bottle. We explained that on another video, but now when you're doing a room or you're doing the whole house refurbished and you want to remove the popcorn and you're going to want to get it wet, you don't want to use a spray bottle and an overhead because it's going to take you so long, it's going to get you tired. So what you can do is you can buy yourself one of these pumps, and then all it does is it takes 4 gallons and you compress the water, or you put pressure in the tank, and then with the nozzle you go out closer to it and you start getting it wet, so it starts getting humid, and that is going to be quicker. So then you do one pass in a cold area, you let it soak, and then as you start, it's going to be ready for the other end. So on this method, the spray bottle is not going to help for a room. This is for a closet, for a small area, but for a big room, you want to use one of these pumps. So with that said, we're going to show you, we're going to get up there, we're going to show you how. Okay folks, so we're doing this spray, this pump sprayer, and we're going to show you that once you start wetting the popcorn ceiling, the color changes, as you can see. So if you're doing a whole area, big area, you want to use this pump, because by using the spray bottle, it's going to take you such a long time. So and then your hand is going to hurt. So with this pump, make sure you use it when you clean it before you start spraying, because you might have other chemicals that are not supposed to be in your inside living space. So what you want to do is use it clean, and then as you can see, the color of the popcorn starts changing as the water hits it. And don't be afraid, the popcorn absorbs all the water, so it's good. And as you start wetting it and you move on, by the time you finish one end, you are ready good to start scraping it off from the ceiling on the other end. So what I'm doing, I'm going back and forth, moving on, and then once I'm done on this end, I'm going to be really good to start scraping it at the other end, because it's going to be ready to go. And if you try to do it dry, it's not going to work. You're just going to make a mess. This material doesn't come off when it's dry. It just makes dust. And so with this, you get it humid, wet, and then once you start scraping it, it shears off from the surface. So what we're doing is we're getting it. See, don't be afraid. You want to get it really wet. Not too wet, but just get it really humid. So when you start scraping, you don't leave a spot. As you can see, the color changes as water hits it. So I've been using 4 gallons almost for this whole room to get it wet. That's how much amount I've been using. So, and with this pump, what you do is you just pressurize it by muscle, and then you don't have to use your wrist and your hand with the spray bottle. The spray bottle is good for small areas, but when you start getting into rooms like this, big ones, you're gonna hurt yourself by trying to get it with the spray bottle. So, and also one thing, if you're spraying it up into the overhead, you don't want to use it when it has chemicals. You want to clean it, because some of that stuff is going to hit you in the face. So you want to make sure that this whole thing is flush, free of chemicals, so you don't get harmed. Because remember, you're doing it on a living room, probably kitchen, or I don't know, some place where you might spray some of those chemicals, and you don't want to be dangerous for your family. Okay folks, so now that we have got the overhead humid, we're going to show you how we're collecting the popcorn ceiling texture. So what we're using is this bucket and this plastic scraper to scrape it into the bucket so it doesn't fall straight to the ground. As you can see, there's some in the ground, but we're trying to minimize the mess. So we collected in these 2 buckets, and this is almost from this room. We're talking about 3/4 of this room. So we got almost another bucket to go. So you want to use buckets to collect it, because if you let it fall into the ground, this is how much you're going to have to pick up again. or later on. So you want to use buckets to collect it. So we're going to show you how we do it, and we're using a plastic scraper and a bucket to collect it. While we scrape it, we come down from the ladder, we transfer it to these buckets, and then we go back up again, so we keep the mess to a minimum. Okay, folks, so what we're talking about is that we're using this plastic spatula. It's about 5 inches wide, and we're using a bucket, square bucket, to catch the popcorn. As you can see, we shave it off and we catch it on this bucket. Otherwise, if we would be doing it, just scraping it off, and it will fall into the ground, all that will have to be picked up, and you have a lot of work. So as you're doing it, why not collecting it into a bucket? Once it gets a little heavier, you go down and you transfer it to another bucket, so you collect it and you don't make a mess until the end. So that way at the end, if you're tired, you don't have to worry about picking it up, because just by doing this, it gets you tired, and then you look down and you're like, oh, now I gotta do this too. So now by doing this, you collect it into one bucket, transfer it, and you need more buckets, transfer it, and that way you do it quicker. Also, if you use a metal scraper, you can rip the plastic on the sheetrock. So you don't want to do that. The plastic one just shaves off whatever is humid, and it doesn't get into the cardboard, and it doesn't rip off the cardboard. That's why we have a cleaner cut with around the other areas where we have cleaned out. So with that said, we'll continue.